Speed kills. And I especially hate the methamphetamine crank that's being out now that can be made in bathtubs and garages and made out by, and you can buy this stuff to make it out by the barrel. Well, see, this is some of the stuff that we have to like let our kids know. Because I feel like that in the 60s, when the cork was first pulled out of the bottle, we saw the seeds of everything that we have now. We saw the seeds of everything. There was all kinds of the people you see whole big clubs of now. There was at least 2 or 3 of those around at that time of all the different varieties of stuff. Now, it is now 4:20, and so I see a few little clouds of smoke going up here, so we're going to be taken seriously. It is now 4:20. Is somebody going to give me a hit, or do I just have to sit here and start? Okay, Dad, thank
Woo! Yay! Straight on! Woo! Yay!
you. Now, seriously, promise we're going to bring us some joints.
What is this?
What is this here? Grass here? Seriously.
Fine, bud. Fine, bud.
Is there somebody out there who would volunteer to do some rolling?
Can I ask you guys something? How many people have seen a ballot or been exposed to a ballot or had a ballot? Not very many. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So you haven't had a ballot yet, a lot of you. Okay, we're getting them printed. We thought we printed a couple of thousand of them, but
Okay, there will be ballots available
show you what,
at the
okay.
front gate, in the front of the milk bank, and then across from that front gate where the hat check is, there'll be a place where you can vote. Make sure that you bring your laminate, and that they punch that laminate when you vote. They're not allowed to take a ballot without the laminate, and then to be punched, so that people can't vote more than once. You know.
that's what they look like. And there will be plenty of them, and I will be, or my crew, one will be at the front door of the Milkway where we have the ballot box, and we'll collect them all there. Now, anybody have any good strains they've run into that they want to talk about anything? Okay, here we have somebody who wants to go for it.
Use the mic. Use the mic.
I think spirit speaks, and I think that it's not. You know, I mean, I don't want to get into anybody's personal kind of things, but what Sister's talking about is something that's happening around the world. It's happening, and everyone's seen it happen. My point being, though, is that marijuana is the perfect antidote to that problem. Marijuana is the answer to what can help so many people. You can get so fucking high on marijuana. You can get so fucking out there as you ever want to get, and it will not hurt you. It will not hurt you. And I think it's important, you know, what she's bringing out. I just think that message needs to get out because there are a lot of people who are addicted to getting, you know, really far out. And I understand where they're coming from. They're addicts, and they're in all colors and all shapes and everything else. But so I don't want to get personal about that, except that it was a personal thing that came speaking out at 420 at this wonderful place. But I think that's important. She asked, what is the answer? And I say, just smoke marijuana. It won't hurt you. And it'll put you right out.
Yeah.
This is an old phenomenon. When Meese, who was Attorney General, you know Meese, he was Attorney General in California before he was for the United States. And when he was Attorney General in California, he closed the border at Tijuana and dried up California for pot for a while. And when he closed the border and dried it up, San Francisco high school kids started taking pills. You know? They started, and so that was the first time I noticed that when you keep the kids from having pot, they do the worst stuff. And then I saw this thing about broke my heart. It was his mother on the talk show, and it was about kids who were huffing, you know? And her kid had huffed up on something that he got out from under the sink at her house that killed him. And she just said, I wish to God he had been smoking pot.
Marijuana's good for you. What do you
You know, she really wished he had been. And this is the thing, when the war on drugs drives the kids. And you know, I was told this story, this was shocked me. I got told this story by my sister just a few months ago. When she was a little girl, she had a stretch of really bad liver. And we didn't know what it was, and the doctor, you know, said, well, she's got to eat liver, she had to eat liver every meal, you know, and take shots and stuff. And she just really said she's got cirrhosis of the liver like some old wino or something for a child. This year, she's now 8 years younger than I am, I'm 62. This year, she had a realization about back when she was a little girl, she was playing with the Christmas tree ornaments. And they were the kind with the liquid in them that bubbles, you know? And so she wondered about them, and she broke one of them, and she smelled it, and it smelled kind of funny and interesting, and it gave her kind of a buzz. So she finished off the string of ornaments. They were full of carbon tetrachloride. Almost wrecked her liver. She's now a nurse, and she now looked back and thought, now I know what I did to my liver. She almost killed herself by whiffing carbon tetrachloride off. And this is something before there was any hippies, before there was any large drug culture or anything. That's the interesting thing to me. A completely spontaneous child alone in New Mexico without any subculture around her whatsoever accidentally discovers something that gets her stoned and continues to do it. Yeah, that's something that needs to be really thought about. But that's the kind of things that you can get into by just following a random buzz. You know, a random buzz can lead you to your death. Yeah.
My name is Spencer. I live in the United States in the Florida Keys. I don't know how, I've been smoking grass for 25 years. I don't know how many people in this room feel excited, but I feel oppressed. You feel oppressed because you smoke grass? Yes. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And it was what we've been hearing all the time. I was listening to this lady over here just a few minutes ago. She said that, what state is it now? Tennessee, the law enforcement people can stop you and give them a lab test, right? Men in labs go to the side of the road. And that's out of control. I've got a client in Cap, very successful marketing company, worked for a major organization. I've got a client in the Florida Keys. He runs a motorcycle repair shop. He's a working guy. He's like most people, you know? He's opened his shop, he's trying to be a real nice guy, and a gentleman comes in and he wants to work on his motorcycle, and he says, okay, sure, come on in. He's trying to generate goodwill. Well, after a couple of weeks, the guy's got all his tools moved in, probably half his bags and his family, and he thinks he works there. He starts verbally abusing the customer. And before long, the owner says, well, I'm sorry, but this isn't working out any longer. You don't mind? I'd like you to leave. The guy was offended. The owner had to get a ball bat to literally defend himself, keep the guy from hitting him, to get him out of his garage. 2 days later, the owner comes back to his garage, all the tires in the parking lot are slipped. So we got major vandalism now here. So he calls the police. And now this guy is into serious revenge. And he leaves a bag of grass under the guy's counter. Small plastic bag, normal kind of thing. And then he goes back to payphone and he calls the police. Then he calls the owner's partner and says, hey, just dropped the dime on you. And these guys are thinking, well, this is not a big deal because we don't have any grass here. and we're just doing our job, so they go back to work. They're thinking maybe a sheriff's officer will come and ask them a couple questions. Of course, you know how this works. This guy told me he was a major distributor for cocaine. He's got a warehouse full, so every law enforcement jurisdiction within 40 miles is visiting them, throws all their customers on the floor, strips them naked, throws them on the concrete floor, obviously interrogates everybody, and then arrests the owner because they find a bag of grass. All because of an anonymous tip. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because along with running this marketing company, I have been writing novels, and I have an agent in the United States who wants to hear our stories,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Which means I want to hear your stories.
Ask Stephen about that, how he feels about that. That's a good question.
I just finished writing a novel. It's at a major publisher right now. It's about the dangers of pesticide poisoning, and there's a lot of people in this community I know that care about what they eat and how they eat it. And certainly there's a lot of us in the United States very concerned about this subject. And last year the Congress passed a law with President's signature which eliminated our biggest defense, and that was the Delaney Clause. I'm not going to go into length about what that is, but essentially I wrote a book. It's a mystery novel to try to entertain people, and it's at the publisher now. This gentleman is Wansel. My next book, which is about the war on drugs, particularly about marijuana, is called The Eighth Amendment. If you haven't read the first, if you're from the United, how many people from the United States are here? All right, I want you to all, when you get back home, I want you to read the first 10 amendments to the Constitution again. You will become angered. You may get physically violent.
Yeah.
At least internally, it will make you want to do something. And if you're feeling as oppressed as I am, do it. I would like to hear your stories. The best and easiest way to get to me is email me, sunjunkie at AOL.com. Now, how can you remember Sun Junkie? I live in the Florida Keys. Think about me on the back of my Harley, riding down the Florida Keys, the sun is shining, the wind's in my hair, and my license plate says Sun Junkie. SUNJNKY. Write to me. Tell me the problems you've had or things that are going on about this. All right?
You see, it just sort of slops over from religious use into the politics of it. It's like it slops over from the seminar into the 420 and it sort of slides on through into the next thing. Because it's all really one thing that we're doing, you know, different pieces of it. I have been concerned about, you know, bad dope in our scene myself, and I do things about it. I go out and I complain about it, and I raise hell about it, and we got to do something about that, because who the hell else is going to do it? We aren't going to call the cops on our kids. You know, it falls to us to take care of it. And you got to do that. And, you know, in my book, I made the stand that I thought that kids should be 18 before they turn on. I felt like that they should finish school and they should have a little education under their belt and have a prayer of a chance of making a living, you know, before they actually start off getting high. And I was teaching a class in our high school of 16, 17-year-olds when the book came out. And so I had to face them, you know, what they wanted to say to me about that. They were good to me about it. They said, you know, you're really right, actually. And everybody knows some kid who's been a stoner since he was little, and he's got a hair down to his butt, and he makes perfect grades everywhere he goes, and his teachers love him, and he's perfectly well-adjusted, and he's no problem at all, and everybody loves him, and he's fine. And I know those guys too, that are really fun, you know. But you also got to say there's going to be some kids who the first time they turn on is the last time they're ever going to do any homework in the rest of their life. Yeah. I know, I understand, you know, like I said, there's lots of kids I know who started young like that, but see, when we're in the position of speaking to people who to open the conversation with these people, the first thing we have to do is convince them that we're not nuts, you know, and so then we have to have the discussion with them about us having our rights. And so we have to allay certain fears of theirs, you know, because the square fear is that you will self-perpetuatingly addict generations to something addictive, and you'll start a self-perpetuating thing that will go down kind of like tobacco, you know. It started off way back, 400 years ago, just a few folk, and whoo, it's one of the biggest things in the world, you know. And people are afraid of that, and we got to make people not be afraid of us. You know, we got to be able to. We got to win the love of an honest square. You know, that's really the thing. We got to be able to win the love of an honest square, because our revolution is not going to succeed until we are able to win the love of an honest square. And so we got to be reasonable and accessible, and not so freaky we scare them, and not take delight in blowing their wigs, because their wigs have been flapping in the breeze for some decades already. Somebody else got something? Yes. I don't have that much time right this minute, because I got the gypsies coming in a minute. But after the gypsies, I'd be glad to put you up. But you can come up now. No, look. So you've got it. Yes. Come. Come on. There's a microphone right there.
I just want to say that I'm from Boston, and every year.
Yeah, pull it down for you.
Oh, okay. I'm from Boston, and for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 years, they've had a marijuana legalization rally. In the last 2 years, it's been 50 to 60,000 people. And on the same day, for the last 2 years, they hold an anti-pot rally on the Charles River Basin. And so help me God, it's like 7 people show up on 3 different blankets. And the local news is enjoying immensely juxtaposing the pro-pot with 60,000 people and the anti-pot with 11 people. You know, I think they got 4 more people last year to railroad. So I just want to let you know that maybe the message is getting through, you know, with just those numbers in Boston anyway, maybe other places.
I don't know if I have a voice. I'm from Hawaii, from the Big Island. Hawaiian Company. Spirit, and we're just sailing right along. I don't know if anybody else is here from Hawaii. I haven't. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to brag a little bit, because I shared some of my own time grown under the sun with the rain and the Aina on mango soil, and I was told that it was as good or better than any they smoked here, so that made me feel real proud. Anyway, I'm just real happy. I'm happy to be here. Aloha.
I wanted to talk to you just briefly about these here gypsies, which are sort of
We're
a
in the Big
special
Island.
thing. Back in the 60s, we had great troops of them. There was the Floating Lotus Opera Company, and there's the Meme Troupe, and people who did that kind of stuff. And there's these people, there's sort of a tradition that goes on outside of university, outside of government or law or anything, that there's always been a group of people who were artists and musicians and street people and learned arts and crafts and things, and there's always been that kind of people. And many of the hippies realized that our hippie renaissance was also about that kind of people, because there are kind of people that in the United States they tend to get a ticket, you know, for being what they are in public. And at least Europe has some idea there's such a thing as a street musician or something like that. And so that tradition's been going on, and so these gypsies who we got here are carrying on that kind of tradition, and that's some of, you know, to their honor is that they were also on gypsies were also on Hitler's list as the kind of people that you couldn't put up with. And it kind of reminds me of how much the attempt to control people can get to, is that when Louis Armstrong came to Europe, and I guess sometime in the late 30s, Louis Armstrong brought his band to Europe, and his band played in Germany. And the Germans came to Louis Armstrong's band and they said, when you play your saxophones, it is okay to do this, but you may not do this. Well, we have people here who have this and several other directions, and we're going to bring them out here. And these are the Rainbow Gypsy Theater, which I think is just about ready to do it right behind my very back. Get it.
Hey, let's hear a round of applause for the gypsy dancers here. Give them some inspiration. As you may or may not know, the gypsies travel from country to country, continent to continent, collecting the music, the theater, the ritual of all the peoples of the earth to mix them together into the bouillon-based soup we call the Gypsy Theater. We now take you on a journey deep into gypsy culture, deep into the culture of freedom. We'll be back in a few short moments with more.
Somebody said they had some herb. Somebody got some herb that was gonna like. I've actually got a couple more than I really need of these.
Right over here. Right in the eye.
Oh, they gave me one of those red boxes.
Yeah.
What brand you grow on the farm?
Sometimes we used to call it Tennessee Smartweed.
What is it?
Tennessee Smartweed.
All right. I'm going to take it back to Cali.
No, that is not. That's some, you're talking about smuggling stuff the wrong direction and bring those here. Unless you're going to enter it, of course. Somebody did mention they had dope here. He was going to give away some dope today, but they got away or what? No, I mean it was somebody who had some. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Yes, I thought so. Here we go. Aryan, Greenhouse.
Good afternoon. You're here again. I was here yesterday also. For me, this 10th annual Cannabis Cup is a very, very special event. Especially because Rita Marley is here. And she's already my customer for like 4 or 5 years. And most of the celebrities are not allowed to say they're our customers, you know. But this time she came over and we are escorting her, and we just were in the greenhouse. A lot of you folks were there also. So we're having a really good time. For us, it's very special this year. And we rolled up a few quick more joints to pass you out because we were so happy. So we're going to pass them out. Serge is going to help. And don't forget to vote on the greenhouse.
Thank you very much.
Kan we nog maar zeggen?
You keep encouraging my vote.
Throw some over here.
I've got a few bags with me. And if I don't see you anymore, maybe this year, I hope I see you tomorrow night or tonight. I hope you all come back next year for us and keep involved, especially in politics, because we are alone in this country and we really need your support all over the world. So keep the thing going. Thank you very much.
Or the names of the, get out the names of the strains in the houses that we have here.
Is there a strain in the house?
Oh, well, right here, look here.
Only rolled up one.
Now these are what you really call holy rolls. Oh, that's sweet.
A bud present.
Zona skunk. That's sweet. Oh.
It's a Soma Christmas.
I don't have to like this. Yeah, this you can like it.
Ah, yeah.
420. Get back, Mr. Castro. Or was that Groucho? Groucho Gaskin.
That's a photo op.
You might do a Jack Benny while you're at it. Well, coming up,
It's hard for me to believe that.
please stick around because after a little bit more of the gasket wrap, the Gypsy Theater is going to come back and do a couple more numbers for you. And right before this next number called Have the Courage, we're going to pass out the Gypsy joints. And we want to all smoke them together during the song. It's a little Gypsy ritual. And so we'll be just in the right place to reach Gypsy heaven.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yes, we're like, yes, it is. Is that a nominee? What was that last joint I had? The name of it? The last one? Yeah. That was a Yellow Cab. That big joint was Yellow Cab. Okay. And these joints are Greenhouse. So we don't know what's name it is. All right.
Yeah, we just wonderful. My customer 4 years ago, never even say anything. Not good. She knows Brandon.
Okay, guys, I want to get a few names in nomination now. We need to get a few names in nomination. Kimberly's got the list in your hand. Give me a name of a dope and the name of the house it came from.
Drop by.
What was it?
Amsterdam Gold Dutch Flowers nominated.
That's okay. I've got another nomination, obviously.
Warlock by Bluebird.
Yeah. Greenhouse, White Shark.
Greenhouse White Shark.
Who was it over here?
Everybody feeling good out there? Woo! Say ham ham hooray! Ham ham hooray! Right. Now it feels like a party out there.
All right, well, we've got a song for you. And this is original tune written by Jiva, the Queen of the Rainbow Gypsy Theater. It's a song called Have the Courage. And it was originally inspired by Medicine Story, an old elder of the Rainbow Gathering.
Yes, and this is about having the courage to love. And I also think it's appropriate to have the courage to stand up for our rights too.
Let's hear some clapping out there. One thing we know, the Stoners have rhythm.
Yes, thank you. That clapping really gets us going.
America we say, have the courage to smoke. Have the courage to smoke, because you can get arrested there. Have the courage to smoke. Achieva! For peace, for freedom, for legalization of marijuana.
Are we on here? Yeah. You guys hear me up there? We've heard tonight how spiritualism, along with activism, and along with simply toking on what they've made illegal for us to have, combining all of this, is all tied together. I want to start off first talking about Green Prisoners Release and how important activism is to everything that we do. Surely by now everyone who's not really familiar with it or involved in it begins to realize this is an important thing, right? And Green Prisoners Release here in Amsterdam is not solely for Green Prisoners Release. We are just the front group for activism here. We've got brothers and sisters in all forms of activism in the States, from every state in the Union that's in it. So, one thing I would like to ask you, because of the Cannabis Cup, you see it here, this is and if you haven't seen it yet, this is what you're going to vote on. I've never had anything that was bad. Soma, you're skunk. Soma skunk. Blew me away. I've never smoked anything at the greenhouse that didn't leave me staring. Simply put. And the beauty of the greenhouse, I'm a Florida boy, the seashells were just like, hey, did I leave? I had to pinch myself. And when I felt my stash, I realized, yeah, I left. I am here. There's so many great places and things that we've got going on in this city. Unfortunately, a few of the real veterans and the fighters from like Positronics, they're not around anymore. But the building is still surviving with new people. We've got Mia next door with her pollinator and all of the fine things that she has. So when you're traveling from PAX, be sure to go to the old Posse location and check the people out that are still involved. New names have changed, but a lot of familiar faces, and they've got a lot of great products. If you're not familiar with the pollinator, you should really become accustomed to it. Because simply put, you can take your trash, you can take the trichrons from it, and you've got quality things. Yeah? And here in Amsterdam, a lot of people don't like to press it, they like to leave it loose. If nothing else, if you're into a cliquish thing, when you sit down your goodies to roll you up a nice Nader weed joint, and you see the little cup comes out with the trichromes that get sprinkled all in it, it's usually a good indication to everyone with some knowledge that you might be involved in growing. Because no one else is going to have these trichromes but a grower. Because once they're done, they're pressed into hash and sold. So if you have the loose things, it's kind of a signature as to the fact that you might not be scared to elude the fact that you grow, because that's what you're telling everyone. And in certain places, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a way for people to kind of say, hey, you know, I might do a little growing. Here's a little trichromes in my weed, and it's pretty good stuff. It's a way to familiarize, too, from all the growers here with the different types that we have. About the last thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that we talked a little bit earlier about that there are more and more females coming to the cannabis cups. And we've pointed out before how lost we have been since the female has been left out of everything in our society. Everything. And as Steve Hager talked last year, I've missed a few things here and I haven't heard it all. But we have gone astray. And part of the reason is we find in North America, religiously, we find ourselves involved with sun worship instead of worshiping our true Eluwa. which is Yale. And any time that you are participating in smoking cannabis, Yale is speaking to us. Whether we listen or not, it's not the issue. Some of us will listen and some of us won't. Some of us don't need to, some of us will. But with the females returning into what we do, we're seeing a more balance of everything. Spirit isn't sexual. Spirit is not sexual. We only make sexual for procreativity. I think we've got enough people on the earth. I don't think that needs to be an issue with what we do. We need to realize that every human being is just that, a human being. And it starts from all of that. So I hope you guys come down to Green Prisoners Release and check out what we've got going on. See how you can be a part of what we're doing on a grand scale. Yeah? And if you get time, check out what the dead are doing, because we're all connected together. Okay?
All right, folks, we are going to have a presentation. It's not the one I expected, but you can't stop spirit.
Well, I'm glad to be here again. In this 10th annual Cannabis Cup final. Well, you know. Yes, voting is going on for one of this Cannabis Cup. And I want you all put your vote to the Honorable Robert Nestor Berhanis Selassie Marley. Seeing that cup can go into the Hall of Fame in Jamaica, in the Museum of Tough Gang. See? Does that not say? Let's spread the word. Vote. The gang, the gang, the gang, the gang, the gang.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the gypsy dancers are going to come out. We're going to toss these joints into the audience. Anybody who catches one, we want you to light it up immediately. We're going to all smoke together in preparation for this creative visualization, art installation, goddess experience. And as was just mentioned by someone on the floor, you know, the balance between the male and the female is getting better every day. I can tell you this 5-to-1 ratio pleases me considerably. And are we ready to catch those gypsy joints?
Put your arms up in the air. Let's hear it. Hip, hip,
Okay, you know, if we can all fire those up in unison, we want to see the whole field burning with the pleasures of pot. So please, on the count of 3, let's fire up. 1, 2, 3, fuego! I would like to introduce now a talented and creative woman, the queen of the gypsies, Jiva. Give her a hand.
Are you ready to go on? We're not. Yeah, let's give a big warm round of applause for Elizabeth Moriarty. She's a very, very talented and very spiritual woman that brings home the goddess.
And she also brings home the aloha spirit, being that she is the epitome of Mother Maui.
Hey, thank you. And I do this all the time. I'm still always a little bit nervous, so I'm a storyteller. And before coming to the cup over here, I asked Spirit for some stories. You know, what's the gift? What am I to bring here? I wanted to come and bring my gifts. So this is what I received that I want to share with you. It's a bit of a journey. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. It doesn't work so well to be smoking while we're doing the story, but somehow this is how it's all worked out. So we're priming the pump here a little bit. So I'd love you to, if you can, if you're available to close your eyes and reach out and hold the hand of someone close to you. Come on, just hold on to somebody's hand for a second. It's really, really intimate, I know. So close your eyes. And if you don't want to close your eyes, at least keep quiet for a second. Good. So close your eyes. Just feel your breath for a moment. Feel your feet, the floor. Feel the hand that's in your hand. And as you feel your breath, let the next breath be a deeper breath. And go. And let the next one be an even deeper breath. And let it go. And now imagine that you are walking through a field of cannabis, 10 to 12 feet high. You're walking through, it's all around you. Imagine what it smells like. Imagine running your hands through the plants themselves. What would they be whispering to you? Imagine yourself walking through this massive field. You come to the edge of the field, there's a clearing, and you see some farmers. There's a heap of some fertile soil there, some seedlings, and the farmers working hard. Got some trimmings there and a wheelbarrow. They're hard at work. And silently, you bless them, and you thank them. And you continue on your path, and there in the driveway there, there's a brother and a sister there loading up a truck. Packages, herb, sacred. Going to take it down the road. And silently, you bless them and thank them. And you see there's a barn there. And you continue on into this nice wooden barn that's kind of open. And you see heaps of the kind. The big plants, big and tall, buds and leaves. A couple of brothers and sisters there trimming, cleaning it up. And you silently give thanks, offer them a blessing. You walk into another room there. There's some folks there, they've got scales, they've got bags, they're packing it up, getting it ready to go. You see them hard at work, you silently bless them and thank them. You look to the wall there, and there's a doorway with a beautiful tapestry. And of course, when you feel it, you can feel that it's made of the finest hemp. Nicely dyed, woven, beautiful cloth. And you can hear on the other side of the door, there's some music playing and some folks. So you open the door, and of course, as soon as you open the door, the smoke starts to billow out. It smells so sweet there. You walk into this room among the clouds of incredible medicine that you can smell. There's a circle of people sitting and smoking. And as you look around, you see that this room is a really special room. It's very sacred. Beautiful pictures of sacred things on the walls. Shiva. Some statues of Goddess Lakshmi with coins coming from her palms. Goddess of abundance and prosperity and wealth and gifts. When you look, there's another altar with the most incredible collection of water pipes and bongs and hookahs, handmade, bone glass, beautiful. And you look to the people, they're sitting in the circle. And they see you, they motion you to join. The space opens up in the circle there. You sit. Of course, as soon as you sit, it comes at you from all sides. Spleefs, bombs, take your choice. And as you hold it in your hand, you silently give thanks for the gifts the sacred herb brings into your life, for the creativity and the inspiration, for the relaxation and the pleasure, for all the magic, the mystical, multi-dimensional, cosmic, spiritual gifts that the sacred herb brings you. And then you fire it up, and you have your fill. And there you are, you're smoking just enough, not too much, not too little, but you have your fill. And you silently look at each person in the circle and offer them a blessing and give thanks. As you can feel the energy start to move in your body, you know it's time to go. So you go out the way you've come, through the packing room, through the barn, back onto the drive, waving your friends, the farmers. You feel this urge to run, and you take off running through that field. Your arms outstretched, running and running and running, until you are so tired, you stop. And there you are, catching your breath. You bring your hands together and realize that they're coated with some resin. You rub it together and find that that little run through the fields has gifted you a little wad of beautiful, stinky, thick, dark resin. You put that in your pocket. You look up to the sky and you give thanks. The sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. You look down to the earth, you see that fertile ground. And you give thanks to Mother Earth. You give thanks for having a beautiful journey this day. Say a prayer that every day can be filled with this magic and this delight. The sacred herb is certainly our ally. Thank you.
Elizabeth Moriarty. Exquisite. And now Stephen Gaskin is going to bring up another speaker.
I had somebody just over here in the wings to get away. There he is. Okay, there's your mic. Working?
Hello?
Hello? Hi!
It's really hard to go after that, but I just like to say that I think that in the future these events should be tobacco-free, at least Marlboro-free. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm having a lot of fun, but everywhere I go, I can't breathe, and I wind up having to leave. And I don't know. This is a celebration of cannabis, not our day. Thank you.
Yeah, here.
So how about it, guys? What do you want to talk about here for a little bit? We got somebody that want to make a nomination? If somebody thinks it's something that they want to speak up for? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just like to address that last point. I personally hate tobacco smoke, and I, kind of don't like it around, but it seems to me if you ban that, then you're just replacing one prohibition with another prohibition. And prohibition, it never works.
No coffee.
Witches, it didn't work with the Jews or anybody else. It's not going to work. You just got to get rid of it altogether. That's about it.
These are really the things we got to figure out, because whenever people hear about our viewpoints about what we're doing and what's going on, they want to check us out for any little hint of hypocrisy.
I just want to say something on the tobacco thing. It's like myself, I have asthma, and it really bothers me to have tobacco around. And I really appreciate giving the rights to all tobacco users to, they should have their right, just like we have our right to smoke our cannabis. okay, that's cool. Just please give me some air to breathe, because it really does make it hard for me sometimes. Just, I can't smoke any of these doobies with tobacco. It's, I don't know, to me it's polluting it, but you have the right to do whatever you want, right?
It's not the tobacco, it's the R.J. Reynolds tobacco.
It's just my own thing. It's just my own personal thing. I can't have tobacco around it. So I second that. But it would be cool if it was tobacco free, or at least there was more fresh air or something. That would be good.
Natural tobacco.
Okay.
Smoking sections.
Still a little tobacco and reefer rumbling and grumbling going around there in the background and stuff. And don't want to really be the arbiter on that. There's a lady here. There's a mic right over there.
This tobacco thing's interesting because I was looking in the museum for him, and 100 or more years ago, it was like the opposite it is now. Then tobacco was the real expensive thing, and at that time it was a psychotropic. And so they put cannabis as a fill with tobacco. And now it's like 100 years later, it's actually the opposite. They're putting tobacco as a fill because cannabis is so scarce and expensive. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's not even 100 years ago. I had a lady friend on the farm who was from Poland, and she said that her father would plant the tobacco in between the rows of the marijuana so they wouldn't get caught by the tobacco tax guy. But the thing is, I noticed that I got a little tobacco taste in me. I don't smoke, I used to smoke, but we're doing several different things here. If I was to limit myself from doing any of the things that some of the people here do, you start getting pretty sparse. And I kind of like to not make divisions between folks, and to know that we have a lot of different folks from a lot of different viewpoints who are united in the idea that we ought to be allowed to do the herb without it being a big hassle. You up next, man?
Yeah, I'd like to speak to this tobacco thing, because I'm an American. I'm now back here in Amsterdam with my wife, but I went to graduate school about 7 years ago in England. All you find is hashish, and everyone smokes it. If you're going to get it anywhere, they're rolling it up with tobacco. You come over here and you get a lot of the Dutch, it's the same way. So you get the funky filters and they roll it up. So that's the way it's being smoked. And we are in Holland. So out of respect for our hosts, you got to acknowledge that there's going to be tobacco.
Yeah.
Hold on, can I say something about it? Excuse me. Can I say something on a more positive note? I just wanted to thank all the coffee shops out here. I've had a wonderful time. Every coffee shop in my book is a winner. We've gone around and tasted just about every possible flavor on earth, and must say it's hard to judge them all because they're all awesome. And just want to thank all you guys for coming. This is the best world party I've ever been to.
I hear that. Partying with the best as well.
I'd like to come back to the thing about the tobacco because I work for the greenhouse, and we sort of had a while back we had a lot of complaints when you don't want to smoke pure because it knocks you out, but they don't want to smoke with tobacco. So we went to like all these natural herb stores, and we found like this herb that's called coltsfoot. I don't know if anyone ever heard of it, but it's like it's a replacement for tobacco. It's tasteless. There's no nicotine, no tar in it.
It's just natural?
So you can like they use it to fight colds. You could make tea with it as well.